Okay, I'd like to say a warm welcome to everyone who is here today for this MLM systems certification training. The purpose of this training is to help everyone who passes through this training to build a big organization. Many people do network marketing wrong. They think it's about selling their company's products. They think it's about selling. People don't understand that the way the products move is when you build an organization. So today we're going to be covering from chapter 5 to chapter 9. I beg your pardon. We're going to cover from chapter 5 to chapter 9 so that we ensure that we cover all that needs to be covered today for us to be able to do well in the quiz that we have tonight. Now, these quizzes are continuous assessment quizzes. They will account for 30% of our scores, while the exam will take 70%. So the main chunk is the exam. And by making sure that you are present for these meetings, you are scoring some bonus points, showing that you are participating. So today we're going to be looking at these chapters together. And I have with me on the panel three 3-star and 4-star distributors. So we have a mixture of 3-star, 3-star, and 4 stars. And we have double 3 stars, we have 3 stars, we have 3 stars, we have, creme de la creme, I believe. And we're going to be sharing our learnings. And all of us have had an opportunity to go through this before. There was an MLM certification course that was done like 3 years ago. There are a few people here who are participants in as well. So they have hindsight. They have the opportunity of building with this in mind. And we want to ensure that everybody who is here is infected with this methodology of building. There are many fantastic books on network marketing. In my study here, I have about 15 different books on network marketing. And that's because I'm taking this seriously. I want to learn, I want to know, I want to read. So amongst all of those books teach you different things. My first year in network marketing by McYannel shows you, how to drive and how to be passionate and make sure that you put all in your first year in network marketing. Eric Worre wrote the book on GoPro, basically gives you the skill sets you need to be successful at doing this. There's a book, It's Time for Network Marketing, that basically reinforces your mindset to know that it's time to do this business. There's another book there, that chronicles the stories of people who have done this before and what they were able to achieve. They are books, and all of them serve different purposes. The purpose of this book is how to build a big organization. And I'm sure that if you're here today, it is because you want to build a big organization. And where this becomes exciting is not what we are able to do very quickly, but what we're able to create systems and structures to do in time. We want to be pipe builders, not bucket carriers. When somebody joins a network marketing company and says in 6 months, I earn 50 million, it sounds like a bucket. We've been there before. You build aggressively, market wildly, salesman failure syndrome, load all the cash, and 10 years down the line, there's nothing really happening there because it wasn't built, it wasn't a piping system, it was a bucketing system. So we want to learn this method very well. And the first chapter we'll be talking about today is digging to bedrock. We're going to be identifying the key highlights on building to bedrock so that you can, when you are reading, or if you don't read, you can get the general essence and be able to build on the foundation of what we have shared. So very quickly today, we'll be starting with Dr. Funmi Aina, who will share with us our thoughts on the key concepts in digging to bedrock. And then we'll go to Kike Oladiji, and then we'll go to MI. Dr. Funmi Aina, over to you.
Yeah, good afternoon. Thank you very much for this privilege. Yeah, digging to bedrock. I think it's very interesting and true to liken building this business to building a skyscraper. A skyscraper is not something that is ordinary. It is stands much taller than the regular building. And, it talks about different stages, clearing the ground, with a shovel. And that is, it tells us that you cannot, no matter how many months you've been in the business, you can't really start counting that, oh, you're doing this business if you have not gone through the first stage, the training period that gives you a head start, and that training period includes, learning the napkin presentations, watching your sponsors, attending trainings, learning about the business. Then, and during that period, it's expected that you're beginning to sponsor your first 5. But then at the second stage, when you're trying to teach them to to bring their own people, to sponsor their own people, you're at the second level, and it says you need to get a bulldozer. The third level, you now need to get a steam shovel to go even deeper. And the taller you want your building to be, the deeper you have to dig. And it's all about teaching to sponsor, teaching to teach, and teaching how to teach and sponsor. And in this, I see that there needs to be the desire. For me, I read this again, and it tied into the last slide on our business presentation that says, "Are you qualified? Are you qualified? Do you have desire? Do you have means? Do you have? Are you teachable? And do you have influence?" I feel that desire and being teachable are very, very important. One other thing I want to say is that there's some people who come in and they start the first level. They happen to sponsor VIPs, a lot of VIPs. And so a lot of income is coming in. My caution, my charge to everyone is, don't get carried away with this, because the money will come in. And just like CM, you mentioned something a few minutes ago that the person is making a lot of money, and 10 years later, there's nothing. Because we're sponsoring people who are bringing in a lot of income, does not still remove the importance of building to bedrock before you can say you're really doing this business. So that's just what I would like to share in this chapter.
Thank you very much. Very, very good thoughts, very good points. Kike Lomo, over to you. Over to you, Kike.
All right. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, CM. Good afternoon, Dr. Aina.
Good afternoon.
For taking the first lead in this on this chapter. Although you've done justice to the explanation, but I just want to add 1 or 2 things to what you have said. So what this chapter is all about is about the starting point of building your organization in this industry. So there's something there that says that to run a good race, you must train for it. So I think that's the first point to tell our downlines or our team members when they come on board this opportunity. Although many people may not agree with you at that point, because they have fantastic product, they have all the, when they attended the presentation, they were so eager to start immediately. But we just need to train them so that they know what to do at a particular time. I remember when I started too, I was like, I set for myself an unrealistic expectation. Although they were telling me then, I was still like, what are they saying? But after I think I wasted like 6 months before I now calmed down. I was selling, I was getting money then. But when I was not achieving the desired result that I set out to achieve, that was when I calmed down to train. I remember then we were asked to read 13 books. Then our sign-up package comes with 13 books. This 45-second presentation is there, and other one, Time for Network Marketing, GoPro, everything. We bought it then, but we were not even reading. So we're just like, I need to make money. I need to eat, what do we call it then? So that was what we're really running after. But we must take this point very seriously until I sat down to read those books and follow the training before I was able to achieve something tangible in this business. So anybody coming on board, for you to be able to build to bedrock, you must train. That's one of the things. Then persistence and encouragement. You may get discouraged along the line, but don't be. So just know that you are following the system. When you follow the system, even if you are discouraged, just continue. By the time the results start coming, you will know that you have done it right. And one thing again I learned from this when I started building was I just do what my leader told me to do then, what they asked me to do without asking questions. I'll just go and do it. Okay, do it this way, even if it's not making sense, if it's not convenient, because most of them are not even convenient to do. You have to get out of your comfort zone and go and do what they ask you to do. So I would like to stop here so that we won't take much time. Thank you.
Thank you. I don't know if Emma is ready. If she's not ready, I'll just go right ahead. I think she's still trying to get her laptop functional. Okay, well, are you ready?
My laptop is not coming.
You need to shut it down and start.
My laptop is not right, but I can work with my phone if that's fine.
We need to see your face.
You need to enable my video. I can't enable it.
You need to enable it.
Yeah.
Okay, so yes, go ahead.
Yes, so good afternoon, everyone. I think Dr. Aino and Kiki already did justice to the topic. But I would just like to say one or two things. The first word in that chapter is discouragement, right? And discouragement is not alien to many people who are building a business, especially when you have a goal in mind or what you want to achieve. It looks really far, and if you don't have the base, and the base is the knowledge that you need to understand what you need to do, one, and then committing to the process of building. Now, the topic of digging down to bedrock, the key word there is digging, cross activity. Digging is not particularly exciting. Digging sometimes can bruise your self-esteem. So it's a process that needs to have at the foundation of it, the goal of what you want to achieve, and understanding that this thing that I'm building on the long term, okay, it will make a lot of sense. So once we're clear about what we want to achieve, we're able to manage discouragements much better, okay? We don't face challenges and discouragements along the line and we chicken out or we give up. Once the vision is not clear, it's very easy to get discouraged and to walk away, okay? But once we know we're on the right path, once we know that if I continue with this thing that I'm doing consistently, I will achieve the goal, then it helps me to be able to manage discouragement better, okay? So that I wanted to just mention that about discouragement. Then secondly is understanding delayed gratification. Delayed gratification is on like two ways. Like Dr. Aino said, Dr. Aino spoke about, the people who come in and get to sign up VIPs immediately. So they earn a lot of money and they say, wow, I mean, a lot of money is possible here. And if things don't continue like that, they get discouraged. Yeah, so if a person comes into the business and begins to engage in training actually does give you the foundation so that when you face discouragement, you're able to fall back on what you have learned and say, okay, so the reason why this is happening is, this, then I can put myself back up and then move. Okay, I need to be able to delay gratification to say that if for any reason, I mean, I'm doing the business and I'm not getting results like I should, because I'm building, I can take shortcuts, but because I'm building, I know that surely I would achieve the ultimate result that I desire. So we need to be able to delay gratification to look at things on the long term. Then I'm signing up VIPs and I'm making immediate income. I need to know that what is most important is not the active income I'm earning now. I need to be able to delay gratification even as well, to be able to know that my goal is passive income. So to handle discouragements, training is important. What I know will help me to be able to manage things better. Okay, when I know better and I'm in a better place, I can handle challenges and things that come my way much better. So that's the value of training. Training helps our inner game. Training does help us be able to handle challenges that come to us in our business. So training gives you a head start. Training like fortifies you from within. That's what trainings do. So that in the process of digging deep, which is not a glamorous process at the time when you are doing it, you are able to visualize the end that you have in mind and get excited all over again because you know that what you are doing will not be in vain. Yeah, because there's an end that you're looking up to. Finally, I wanted to talk about, I mean, in the process of digging deep, there was something that was mentioned here, talking about getting all excited all over again when sharing the 2x2. And that is very important. You know, sharing the opportunity is not only for the person that is listening to it, it's even for us as well. So if all you are doing is training your team members and you are not participating in sharing the opportunity, you may lose sight of what is possible actually with the opportunity. I don't know whether it happens to anybody here. Well, you know, there are times when you're not feeling so excited, but once you start sharing the opportunity with someone, it's like your eyes suddenly open and you see that, oh, wow, you know, a lot of things are possible with this business, and you get excited all over again. So the process of building the team, building our teams, sharing the opportunity is a motivator in itself, you know, and it has the capacity to, you know, bring to mind, you know, what is possible with the opportunity. So training does help our inner game, and it fortifies us to be able to handle the different things that come our way in the course of doing our business. I hope that helps somebody.
Okay, thank you very much. I think that captures a few key clear things. So I'd like to just quickly, you know, just share some extra thoughts on this particular chapter. I think we've covered ground on the major things already. I'd like to just show a quick slide, if I can, you know, if I can do that quickly, just to show a few of the things that are already been mentioned and a few things that we need to know as well. One thing I won't like us to forget is that it's a napkin presentation. What it means is it should be something that is casual enough for you to take, you know, a serviette, essentially, and be able to draw it up on the serviette and show somebody else this is what this is all about. The whole idea of napkin presentation is you can do this in a restaurant. You can do this very casually. And I think the very interesting thing that was shared here as well is the fact that when you get this well, then one of the things that will constantly motivate you is anytime you see a building. So your business is being tied to a building. So, and we're all surrounded by construction work going on, buildings rising high, skyscrapers here and there. So every time you are doing your business and you go around and you see a building now, they want you to remember your business. That's one of the essence here. To realize that that tall building you are seeing didn't start as a tall building. They needed to get permits. They needed to clear the ground. They needed to, first of all, you know, take off the first soft floor soil layer with shovel. Now, if somebody sees you on your site, on your building site using shovel, they won't look at you and say, fantastic person. They will not celebrate you. Okay, they will look at you and wonder, you're using shovel. What kind of house are you building? But every house you want to build, you first of all clear with something that doesn't look glamorous. And then after the shovel, you bring in, you know, the steam shovels. It begins to look exciting. You bring in a shovel that uses steam. And then after a while, you bring in evacuators, you bring in, as you begin to get to bedrock. And he's saying that's the same way your business is being built. You need to recognize that your first month in this business is really about training. So you give yourself a head start of 2 to 6 weeks where you are learning. You are learning about what you need to do. You are not counting your months and saying, I joined this business in January. You start counting your month from the time you begin, you know, you have done your training. You give yourself a head start to know I need time to be trained before I really get going and get started. Okay, and that head start is very important. You know, it sets you up on the right path. And then once you start, you recognize that before a building will show, it will have a foundation. Okay, and that's your foundation is when you have your first 5 people sponsored. And I want to ask you, many people are in this business today, they have not dug their foundation yet. They have not even brought in the shovels yet. You have brought in shovel, when in our own business, we are not even going as wild as 5 for starters. We're saying for power of 4, you need 4 serious people. If you can get 6, well, fantastic. But you want 4 serious people. And those 4 serious people, when you get them on board and they understand this system, when you get them on board and they understand this model as well, then you have used your shovel to create your initial clearing of ground. You bring in the steam shovels when your own 5 get their 5. So once you have 25 people in your second level, you are now doing the second level shovel work of building your foundation. When those 25 go for their own 124, and if we use our own language, we'll say 4, 16, 64. By the time you get to your 64, you're already getting to the next layer where, you know, you're a step away from getting to bedrock. Remember, this conversion is about digging deep to bedrock. So you want to dig deep to a point where you can get to the bedrock, the 4th layer in the soil. So you have foundation, soft ground, and then bedrock. Once you get to bedrock, from the moment you get bedrock, your building begins to grow very high. So here it's saying, once you build to the third level, you have reached bedrock. So basically it's just 3 levels. I have topsoil, I have the topsoil, I have the foundation, I have foundation, I have soft ground, and I have bedrock. Once I build 3 levels deep, basically I've duplicated myself, I've reached bedrock, and from there, guess what happens? My skyscraper takes off. Okay, I can now start going up, and then I can now become visible. Many people want to be visible before they have built foundation. Many people want to be visible by building shallow foundation. Okay, in this business, if you want to do well, do not build shallow foundations. Build solid foundation. Dig deep. Build for depth, and then you will see yourself skyrocketing. So I want to ask everybody in the room today, before we move to the next chapter, where are you in your building project? Have you started digging? Have you dug your first layer? Or are you getting to soft ground? Or have you reached bedrock? Ladies and gentlemen, in this business, it looks like getting to bedrock is really when you get to 3-star, because at that level that you have already built 3 levels deep, you have duplicated reasonably to 3 levels deep, and then you cannot begin to grow up and become visible. So I'd like you to answer the question, have you started digging? Do you have your shovels? Are you using steam shovels now? And these metaphors are very useful, because when you go around and you see a tall building, you analyze the building and say, okay, one day my business will be 10 floors up. My business will be 7 floors up. So you first of all dig deep, build to the bedrock, and then begin to take it up. Okay, so that's chapter 5. I'd like you to put your comments there to say, where do you think you are? Evaluate yourself. It is when we're evaluating ourselves and we're conscious of our current evaluations that we're able to also position, for bigger things. The next conversion here is ships at sea. I'm waiting for your comments though. I'm still waiting for those comments. I want to see what you write to say, where are you in your business today? Have you started, or are you just about to get started? Okay, digging level. Okay, go. Mr. Duke says it's a digging level. Are you digging with shovels or with steam shovels? Or have you started using evacuators? Have you started getting the big equipment in as you have now gotten to foundation? What level are you in now? Have you brought in the bulldozers? So we have shovels, steam shovels, and bulldozers, depending on the level. Are you level 1, level 2, level 3? How deep? Someone says I'm still clearing the ground. Excellent. And these are very nice metaphors for us to be able to use in our conversation. Say, look, I'm building a house, I'm building a structure that will be very visible. This is what I'm doing now. Once I do this level, I go to the next level. Once I go to the next level, I go to the next level. And if all our team members understand that that's what we're doing as well, guess what? It can be amazing. Yeah, it can be big like that. So we're going to start the conversation. Very good. It's very good for us to know where we are so that we know where we're going. The next conversation is about ships at sea. And this is another metaphor. This is a metaphor for people who ship in containers, people who do trading business, international business people, who are moving in containers. They always say they have ships at sea. My ship is coming. My container is about to land. I think it's a very interesting conversation that we can have for a few minutes as well. I think we'll allow Kike Lomo to start this conversation for us, and then we'll go to MI, and then we'll go to Dr. Fumi, and then I will close it up. Okay, good. I can see where we are. If you're at bulldozer level, be sure that there is no fault line in your first layer. Be sure there's no fault line in your soft ground, because before you bring in the bulldozers, you want to first of all ensure that you have cleared the ground. You have your first 4 solid people that even if you go to bed, they will not go. They will keep on digging. And then they have their own next level before you can get to the bulldozer level. Understand very clearly where you are so that you can drive for where you want to be. And then once you get to bedrock, visibility is just a corner of the way. So in the Power of 4 model, level 1, 2, 3 is underground. From level 4, star 4, star 5 is where it begins to show up. And I think that's a very interesting analogy. So Kike, over to you. Ships at sea.
Okay. Yeah, this my understanding of this chapter is how to recognize people in your organization. That is, we have 3 categories of people according to this chapter. So, and they are named, we have gold ship, we have silver, and we have empty ship. So there are category of people that you talk to. like Sam used to say something about, are they prospect or suspects? So in this chapter, we help you to understand those that are suspects that we are talking to. So if you have gold sheep are the people that are ready to work with you now. And silver are in between. So they are, they are still warming up to run with the vision you have. Then empty sheep are people that you are talking to that doesn't have interest at the time. But it doesn't mean that they may not pick interest along the way, but we just need to understand the category of people. It will also help us to manage our expectation of people that we're talking to too, so that we'll not feel discouraged on time. So as we keep talking to people about our business, we talk to a lot of people. So we have to categorize them. Okay, are they gold sheep? How do you know if they are gold sheep? It means that they are interested in the business. They ask you a lot of questions. So, and this book is a practical, is a practical manual. It guides you on how to build stage by stage. So when you are talking to people and they show interest, they ask you a lot of questions, they are ready to do anything you ask them to do. Those are the kind of gold sheep that that we have in our business. But we have some people too that you are talking to them, they are attending meeting with you, they are still warming up to become gold. Those are the silver kind of ship on the sea. All of them are coming when they land. They are going to bring a lot of goods, on board, to your organization. But the ones you need to work with at the moment are the gold ship, while the silver are warming up and are seeing the activities going on, and you help them to become gold ship, while the empty ship, you don't need to waste your time on them that much, because it may lead to discouragement for you. But that doesn't mean you won't carry them along as time goes on. So that's my understanding. How to categorize the people you are talking to and how to spend time with them. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Kikeloma. That was beautiful. That's very, very beautiful. She covered a lot of ground in that short presentation. We're going to hand it over to MI. Temitope, please, what can you see? Ships at sea. Let's learn and get your perspective.
Okay. Yes, I like the introduction in this chapter. It covers a few things. One of them is the fact that one of the major advantages of network marketing is that you don't have to keep on working for tens and tens of years. Yeah, the fact that you can leverage and enjoy residual income is a strong entry point in this chapter. And to say that will be determined by how you personally get to work with people. Before now, I didn't even see this chapter as having a lot to do with the upline, but I can see from this chapter that a lot about how your downline turns out depends on you.
Yep.
Yeah, a lot. Sometimes we label people, we call them whatever, we say they are not serious, but it's really a reflection of how they have been managed by us. Yeah, so that for me in reading this chapter again was very loud for me. So as a distributor, maybe 2-star, 1-star, you want to look at your team, your downlines, your 4 or your 5 people you are working with, and you want to ask yourself, how are they doing? And how they are doing currently is a reflection of how you have been able to successfully or unsuccessfully manage them. This chapter mentions the fact that when a person comes on board this business, the person comes in as a silver sheep. Okay, the person comes in as a silver sheep. That means the person has a lot of potentials, which, if it is well managed and well harnessed, the person can become a gold sheep. Or if it's poorly managed, the person can actually regress into becoming an empty sheep and just drop out ultimately. So there's a lot of potential, in network marketing. And how do we work with them to ensure that when a person comes into the business as a silver sheep, I help the person to upgrade into becoming a gold sheep? there are 3 stages here. It talks about exposing the person. Okay, there's expose, which has to do with, showing the person the opportunity, teaching, training, and all of that, and getting the person involved, and then upgrading the person to be able to do the things that you are that you have shown them to be able to do those things on their own. Okay, so I would like to zone in on the responsibility of us as the team leads to take the people that are working with. I think that's the one reason why Don Fala just keeps saying there's a maximum to the number of people you can really work with. If you are really going to do this thing, there's a limit to how many people we can really zone in on and give them the support that they really need. Okay, so the empty ship, the silver ship comes into my business, and I'm able to expose them, involve them in the process. Okay, one of my team members had a presentation yesterday for the first time, and I was blown away. I was like, wow. And this person had just been staying in the corner, and she did the presentation. It was fantastic. Okay, so we need to expose the team member. We need to get them involved and get them to, upgrade. So a lot depends on us as the team leads, and that's what I would like to. So when we talk about gold ship, we are very quick in this chapter. Even I've been guilty. Talking about this chapter, I like to jump and talk about the gold ship as if the gold ship just dropped from heaven. Gold ships are really made. When we handhold them, we train them, we teach them, we help them to upgrade to become gold ships. So, and here in this chapter, it shows us some characteristics of a gold ship. A gold ship is somebody who is serious about the business. Person has caught a glimpse of what is possible, and person is ready to commit to process. So we need to be able to help people to see what is possible and then draw them in to be able to commit to process. But of course, we know that there are people who, when we draw them in and show them what's possible, they will say they are not ready. Those are empty ships. They're not ready to do the business. But we need to be involved in the process of helping people to be able to upgrade from silver ships to gold ships. And then we see the value of gold ships. We see that the gold ship, get his or her name list ready. He's always asking questions, always buzzing. Oh, I'm sorry to disturb you, but I have this question. Okay, always eager to learn. The person makes commitments, and all of those things that characterize the gold ships. But what I would like to just zone in on today is that gold ships they don't jump from anywhere. There is people coming, have potential, but we have the responsibility to help them on that journey, knowing that the dream that we have, we cannot achieve it on our own. We need to leverage and work with the team to achieve the beautiful leverage and residual income that comes with the network marketing industry.
Okay, thank you very much, MI. Thank you for that. Dr. Fumi, and over to you.
Okay. Thank you very much, Kikelomo and MI. I know you've done justice to the very short chapter, but one or two things I just like to share that jumped out. Part of it, MI just talked about, just knowing the characteristics of gold ships. And two things that just struck me that, okay, yes, they're interested in the business, they want to learn. It says they have their name list and they have their goal list. And we've always talked about this name list and setting goals. And just to see that for a person, a distributor to be regarded as a gold ship, they need to have a name list. They need to have a goal list. Sometimes, maybe in the middle of everything, we forget to tell our new team members to get their name list, to set goals. Those things are very, very important. Another thing I would like to talk about is just the fact that it said if you're working with an empty ship is going to sink and can drag you down. And I dare say that a lot of members, relatively new members, may fall into this, working with that person, trying to work with that person who is not really interested, and then they are going down, you get discouraged and you drop out. But what it says is that if you just leave the empty ships for a more opportune time, work with the gold ships, that when the silver ships and the empty ships see you moving, they may be the ones to call you back. And I have seen this happen in my business. People that, because usually what I do is when I see someone is like an empty ship, I have that conversation, that pointed conversation with them. And once they say, oh, look, I'm not really ready, I leave them. And it has happened to me even this year that one or two people have come up and have seen that they're interested and they have started the business and they are doing very well now. From being empty ships, they're now gold ships. So thank you very much.
Amazing, amazing, very good. I hope you are picking up something. Very loaded thoughts there from all the panelists. A lot of food for thoughts. And the question I'm asking here today is, what kind of ship are you? And how many gold ships do you have in your team? How many silver ships do you have in your team? And how many of your team members are empty ships? And you know, this classification very clearly, everybody comes on board as a silver ship. Whether they go up or go down is a function also of our handling. Now, the truth is some people are not interested and they lose interest quickly. They begin to ask pessimistic questions. They're asking for critical things. You always need to convince them afresh every time you're speaking to them. Behold an empty ship. Don't allow the empty ships to sink you with them. Allow them, like Dr. Funmi Aina has said, to sink. When they call you back and they are ready to come up, help them get up very quickly. But when they are in their sinking direction, allow them to sink. Many people, without knowing, spend more of their time with empty ships. Don't spend more of your time with an empty ship. A gold ship usually is a guy you have brought on your team who is a salesman by default, and you feel this one, let me leave this one alone. This one is like me. This one will do well on their own. That's the person you should spend more time with, because you can help them guide their energy. You can expose them to the napkin presentations, expose them to your business, you know, involve them by showing them napkin presentations and get them upgraded to realize, look, don't do salesman syndrome. There's a system for you to build a big organization. Work more with the willing than the unwilling. The unwilling have an uncanny ability to drag you down emotionally and even your own ginger and drive based on their own pessimism or the way they are feeling or their attitude at the point in time. So look for the gold ship and work with them. And your silver ship, invest time in them. There are 3 things you need to do to your silver ship: expose, involve, upgrade. And there's a way to do it. There's a way to, there's a way to expose them to your business. There's a way to involve them by showing them napkin presentations. And there's a way to ensure that they are always getting upgraded. Okay, all of this is very clearly defined here in this book as they go through the 10 napkin presentations from time to time. And then I like the list of the things about the gold ship, how to identify a gold ship. You know, when you're calling an empty ship, the person feels you're pushing them. When you're calling a gold ship, the person is excited. He knows that you want to help. He or she knows that you want to help them. So it's time for us to do an inventory, do an audit of our inventory and ask ourselves, what kind of ship am I? And what kind of ship do I have in my team? I'd like us to answer that question as we move into the next chapter. Just type there in that window, I'm a gold ship, or I'm a silver ship, or maybe I'm an empty ship. I need to become a gold ship, and I have 10 gold ships in my account. Now, you won't attract gold ships. You will attract silver ships. Everybody comes as a ship that is moderately okay. They will become gold based on the exposure, based on the involvement, based on the upgrade. Okay, they will become. So you have a responsibility to play. And how do you do that? This text, get them plugged in, get them to understand very clearly napkin presentation 1, napkin 2, napkin 3, napkin 4. It says here, get them involved, take them on a trip to California via napkin presentation 3. So by taking them through that trip, you're getting them involved. Upgrade them by naturally, once they understand and utilize all the 10 napkin presentations, and they are set their size on the top, they have their goals and their name list. You've told them the things that they need to do and they're doing it. You have a gold ship. Spend time with them to build their first sponsors. Spend time with them to go down, to go deep to bedrock, and then you have a gold ship in your hand. Okay. Okay, good. So very good. I can see the comments we're sharing. Very good comments. Now, for the next chapters, I'd like us to do this in 5 minutes. It means we have like 1 minute and 30 seconds each to talk about them. And thankfully, they're not very long. So the next chapter is chapter 7. It's not a very long chapter. It says third-party invitation. I think this one is very, very, very brief. It's just 4 pages and it clarifies it. So if you can do 1 minute each on third-party invitation, that will be fantastic. And then very quickly, we go to where to spend time. That's also a very short one. That's just 2 pages. And then the last one, the sizzle sells the steak, is where we'll spend a little more time. So today, very quickly, third-party invitation. We'll start from Dr. Fumi Aino, then we'll go to Kike, and then we'll go to MI. Dr. Fumi Aino, over to you.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, the third-party invitation, you know, it's a sure way you don't get rejected. And what it's saying is, rather than me asking you, oh, would you like to earn much more income? You ask the person, do you know anybody who would be interested in earning extra income? You know, many people have their ego. You know, if you say, oh, would you like to earn more income? It's like, are you telling me that I don't have enough money? You know, so people have that ego. So it's just a simple way of making sure that you don't get rejected. When the person says, oh, no, I don't know anybody, and you just say, oh, whenever, if you do know somebody, let me know. I also just want to add that at a point, you will get to the point in your journey that even when somebody says no, you don't feel it.
Yeah.
You know, because personally, if somebody says no, I feel more of empathy that, oh, poor thing, doesn't understand yet. Yes, that's the way I feel. So, you know, but for those who are just coming on board and who are not used to rejection, this is a good way of helping, you know, to make sure you don't get rejected at any point.
Excellent. Kike, yeah? Kike Lomo, over to you. Kike Lomo, are you frozen? Okay, Emma, go.
Emma is muted.
Yeah, muted though. We need to hear you.
Yeah, so I think Dr. Anne already did justice to it. But you know, there's another interesting part of a third party sometimes that can be quite exciting. Maybe you're talking to somebody on phone. I mean, that's happened to me a few times. It's happened to me with maybe my hairdresser or somebody who is doing something for me around, and I'm talking to, sometimes, I mean, there was one of those times I was having a team training and somebody was making my hair, you know, while I was having a training with my team, I was, you know, she was saying, this thing that you're saying is true, it's making sense. So I was just continuing with what I was, you know, I wasn't addressing her, but she was listening anyways. I was doing voice notes, I was typing and all of that. And some you know, along the line as well, I had 2 calls. Someone called me, I put it on speaker because of course she was making my hair. Put it on speaker, I said, can you hear that? That product is really good. And this thing, yeah. I got 2 calls like that. And all in the process, I was also still training my team. And, you know, with that lady now, I have someone who I'm following up. You know, the only reason why she hasn't come on board is she doesn't have enough resources to begin. That's what she says. But she's on my follow-up list. And I didn't do any prospecting directly to her at all for this opportunity. And that's for me an example of someone who is third party. She came to do a service for me and I was talking on phone, and then, you know, she started asking me questions. Oh, my mom has this. Will this product work for her? You know, she asked me questions for her, but I think for her husband, her mom, and, you know, by the time we spoke, she was like, no, I need to do this. She's gotten the products twice, and she's gearing to coming on board. That's third party. That's a strong third party. You're not directly speaking with the person, but the person is eavesdropping on a conversation you're having, and the person is able to pick, this is not, you know, what is this about and all that. I just wanted to talk about that other part of third party. You know, the main one that is addressed in this book is not going directly at the person to say, you know, would you like to earn extra income, or, you know, would you like to retire to passive income, or would you like to achieve your dreams? People like it sometimes as well when they are not directly sold to. People don't like to be sold to, yeah? You know, so I think there's a part of them that doesn't really want to say no to your face, and they just don't want to be sold to, or to say yes. I don't know, really. Some human psychology, they don't want to be directly sold to. So when you're asking them about something, they are more eager to say, what's it about? So yeah, tell me, you know, and then you're able to tell them, and they don't feel like you are putting it in their faces. It's actually really third party in different shapes and sizes. For me, I've seen do a lot of work, quite a lot. You know, third party is a strong one. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. Kike, over to you.
All right, I think Dr. Fumi and MI has done justice to this chapter already. So it's just a level playground for both parties. So if the person says no or the person accepted, nobody is feeling rejected because it's not direct. I mean, it's not direct selling to the person. So we are just in a conversation. So at anything that happens at that point, everybody is fine. Nobody is, is feeling anyhow. Thank you. That's just my contribution.
Okay, I'd like to just add these thoughts, and for the sake of people that are listening as well, so that this is very important. I think you need to have a conversation with your team members and ask them, what kind of sheep are you? Go through the napkin sessions with them and ask them what kind of sheep they are. More often than not, people will say that they are gold sheeps. And that's because you have told them very clearly that you only want to work with gold sheeps. So everybody wants you to work with them. So if you do that, you can begin to get, it's like a third party statement as well. You get your members, showing who they are and getting more plugged in. That's one. Then on third party, the more the invitations you have, the more the results you can get. So people don't want to send many invitations because they don't want to get many rejections. The third party formula allows you to be able to trick your mind into knowing that Kukusha didn't ask you to come and join me. I just asked you if you knew anybody. So it helps you launch more ships and possibly get more results. So that's that trick. Also, okay, and I think this is very important. If we follow this model, you will realize that nobody in this business needs to prospect for themselves until they have developed the confidence to do it. So if I signed up Dr. Fumi, our 5 downlines are going to be my responsibility to speak on her behalf. If I have helped her to do that and she has team members, when she's helping them out, she's already gained enough confidence or temperature to be able to do it directly herself. So it's going to be a function of the rejection is you're trying to get them to come for a meeting. Do you know anybody who will like to earn extra income, who can make an appointment, with somebody that is important, that will, like a sizzle. So I think this is beautiful. It allows you to trick your mind, allows you to get to the party and have somebody to dance with all night because you're not afraid of rejection. So it allows you to launch more and more and more and more and get more people in your team as well. So very quickly, we'll move very quickly, speedily, and we have 1 minute each on this one. Where to spend your time. And I think it's just linear. It shares where to spend your time when you are early in the business and where to spend your time as you go along in the business. So we'll start with Kike. Kike will start, MI will go next, and then Dr. Fumi will seal the deal. 1 minute each. Let's go. You need to unmute.
Sorry. So the chapter is straightforward. So I think where to spend your time most of the time is with training your people, how to train. How to sponsor and how to.
Okay, I think our internet has frozen.
Training, you have to train your people and how to teach and how to sponsor.
Okay. Okay, thank you for that. MI, do you want to add thoughts?
Yes, we understand that there are 2 categories of people per time really in the business. There are people who are new in the business, who are yet to have any team member, or are just maybe starting to have maybe their first or second. Is she speaking?
Go ahead. I lost her.
Okay. Yeah. So there's that category of people who are new and really just trying to set out to build their team.
We lost you for a while. Somebody else is speaking now. Go ahead, MI. Go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So there's a person who is new in the business. That person needs to spend time in apprenticeship. That's what it is. That's what I've chosen to call it. Apprenticeship is training. And training here, just like Kike mentioned much earlier, this business is a hands-on practical business. Yeah. So person who is new in the business should spend most of his or her time in training, not just by sitting down and listening to Dr. Aina speak, CM speak, and all of that speak. Is in working with your sponsor, to be able to work on your name list, to do the third-party invitations, to do the CISO sessions, the different things that will make you begin to form the skills and the muscle you need to be able to do the business on your own is where you need to spend most of your time. Okay, so it's training. But inside that training are activities that you need to be engaged in, working with your sponsor so that you can be able to learn to begin to do those things on your own. So for the person who is new in the business, who doesn't have a hang yet of those things, that is where the person should spend most of his or her time. Okay, so for the person who has been able to get, for example, maybe their first level, and you have been able to identify the silver ships and you're working with them and you have gotten your gold ships from those silver ships, where you should spend most of your time is working with your gold ships. And interestingly, our kind of business is a relationship business. Okay, the way it works is when you have identified your gold ship, when the younger sister is getting married, you should be there. When the person is having his birthday, you should be there. So it becomes a relationship. You become a part of the person's life, such that the person knows that you are interested in his or her, success, as it were. So where you should spend most of your time when you have your first level is with those people, working with them, helping them to build 3 levels deep and to hit bedrock once you have your first level. But if you don't, you spend most of your time working with your sponsor to ensure that you have your gold ships first level. And take it on from
Thank
there.
you very much, Emma. Dr. Funmi, over to you.
Yeah, thank you. I know most of it has been said, but just to say that when one has found one's 5 and you're working with them, alongside that, you would still be sowing seeds so that when the 5 don't need you anymore, whenever you get to that point where you've worked with them they've gotten to bedrock, they are doing everything that you can do. And then those seeds that you are sowing, the people you've been reaching out to, you can now start working with those ones. So that's just what I wanted to add.
Thank you very much, Dr. Funmi. I like to say this. I think in your first 1 month in the business, your first assignment is to spend your time sponsoring. So you spend your time working with your upline to sponsor. After you have your 5 serious people, and I like us to spell this out very clearly. If you have 10 people in your team and they are all empty ships, you don't have anybody in your team. If you have 20 people in your team and they are all empty ships, you have nobody in your team. When we're talking about having 5 serious people in your team, we're saying 5 gold ships, not 3 gold and 2 silver. The day your training really now begins. So you first, if you look at that graph, there's a graph in that book that starts from 100%. The 100% starts from sponsoring. And then as you make progress and have more people sponsored, your sponsoring time reduces to 50%, reduces to 40%, reduces to 30% until your sponsoring time and seed sowing time reduces to 2.5%. Okay? And then you have 2.5% for sales and servicing customers. And then 95% of your time will now be spent working on your gold ships. So yes, we're correct in saying that it is about training, but the trajectory that gets us there starts from sponsoring. And then our training work will start from, we have identified 5 people. So if I can count on my hand, my 5 people, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, they are serious people. Is that how to ensure they can get their own second level, how to ensure that they are working their second level to get their third level so that I can be duplicated. So the first place I'm going to start with is sponsoring. And then when I have my 5 gold ships, and many of us have 10 people. We think, I have 10 people in my team. We have 10 jokers in some of our teams. Okay. They need to be gold ships. And then from there, we'll take the journey forward. Okay. I think it's very important. And then the last chapter today is chapter 9. And I love this chapter. This is my own chapter. It's Sizzle Sells the Stick. And maybe it's because I like meat. This is a chapter for meat lovers. And it's just 3 pages as well. So we can run through it very quickly and close the show on this one. The Sizzle Sells the Stick. Napkin 8, chapter 9. We'll start with MI. Please, we have 1 minute, 30 seconds. From MI, we'll go to Dr. Fumi, and then we end with Kike, and then I'll wrap up. And that will be the end of this session. If you have questions, begin to throw your questions in so that we can begin to look at them to answer.
Okay, I'm supposed to start, yes?
Yes, start.
Okay, yeah. So, like the title of this chapter says, the sizzle sells the stick, yeah? What we want to achieve is well-made meat ready to be consumed. That's what we want to achieve. That's our goal. Okay, so in order for us to be able to do that, we need fire to be able to do that, right? Yeah, and this concept says when I have only one log of wood, I will not be able to achieve nothing. I will not be able to have the fire that I need to achieve the meat that I want to eat. Okay, if I put 2 logs together, I can have a flame. A flame will struggle, spend a much longer period to be able to achieve the enough fire I need to be able to achieve the meat. Okay, but when we have 3 logs together, we have a fire. When we have 4 logs come together, we have a blaze, and we can have correct sizzled meat that we can settle down with and eat and have a lovely time. Now, how does this affect what we do? It affects what we do in saying that on my own, I'm alone in the cold and I'm not able to achieve the phenomenal results that I need to achieve when I'm talking with somebody about my opportunity. Okay, the person can even have C finish and say, is it not Kemi that we finished from a Adanli Koko Grammar School? I beg, yeah, you can, so that can exist for one person. When you have 2 people, yeah, it can be okay, something can happen. But when we have 3 people and we sit down and say, well, this is Dr. Fumi and she's, when we have this person, we have, the concept is to be able to have one prospect or one guest, and then we have the person who invited the person's upline, and maybe a fourth person who is a member of the team, all distributors, and all vibing about the idea of the opportunity and excited about it. One person talks about it, the other person gives a thought, somebody else gives a thought. Before you know what's happening, you have, the energy is high, and the person is able to see that I'm alone here. It's like I'm missing out, and the person is able to say, if this is it, I want to be a part. I don't want to miss out on what you have. So the concept of a sizzle is to be able to come together with a guest being invited, with 3 other distributors, sharing the opportunity, and creating an avenue for the person to feel that they are missing out, so that we can achieve the blaze that we want to achieve with the opportunity. I think at this point I'll just leave somebody else to.
Thank you, Emma. Kike Eloma, I hope you're around. We're going to end with you. Dr. Fumi.
Okay. Thank you. Emma has basically said most of it, but just to say that there are times when I talk to some team members who maybe don't seem to have been plugged in, they haven't been coming for meetings, they haven't really been doing much, and they say, yes, but I'm talking to people, and I try to help them to see that you're talking to people on your own. And that's like having one log in the fire. So it's not, first of all, the person probably doesn't know much what to say. At the same time, you're doing it on your own. So there's no blaze, there's no fire. It's just you and that person. And so it's almost like you're putting yourself at a disadvantage when you have uplines and upline and uplines upline who can come together with you in a sizzle to sell your stake. So it's really just saying saying you're talking to people, you're not really you're setting yourself up for failure really by just continuing to talk to people by yourself. This system has already been put together. Everybody has a sponsor and a sponsor who can help to have a sizzle. That is, it could be after the person has listened to a presentation that the upline and the upline's upline, maybe a sideline, come together. And the beauty now is that it can be done online. It doesn't necessarily have to be one-on-one, face-to-face. You don't necessarily have to travel anywhere to get that done. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, I think Kike Eloma is no longer in the room. I think she got out, I think, her network. But let me quickly share this as well. For a long time, I always felt that sizzle was about new people who wanted to join the business. But it shows here clearly you can do a sizzle for a downline. You know, you can find somebody deep down in your team who is a silver sheep, who you need to get sizzling. You know, you need to get them bubbling into a sizzle. And I think one of the perfect places for sizzles to take place now is on Zoom. You know, you can basically, so for example, a sizzle, maybe Dr. Durand wants to do a sizzle, or you know, Fumi Ashaolu wants to do a sizzle. She has some downlines who are silver, they are not ginger, they are not active. She sets up a Zoom meeting. In that Zoom meeting, she's there, she brings one or two of them, MI is there, somebody else is there, you know, and then in that meeting, we're just discussing what happened in your business last week. What did you encounter with your products last week? Any testimonies from last week? When those conversations begin to happen and we're talking and somebody joined my team, there's VIP, you just bring people together who have ginger. And then when we all come together, you know, the place gets sizzling, and those who are not so strong and so committed feel a need to do more. That's a sizzle session. Now, interestingly, you can do it with a prospect as well and bring them into your conversation. Let them listen into your conversations, how the business is going. Last week, you know, I had 100,000 naira. Say, hey, how? Say, there's this person that joined my team. This is it really is happening. You know, that fire coming from 4 different people can create a sizzle that sells the stick. Kike Lomo, let's hear from you. I was filling up the space before you came. You can unmute if your internet.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. Sorry, there's a rider waiting to pick up. So it's the one that has been disturbing my.
Yeah, sizzling us now.
Yes. Yes, I really love this chapter a lot because of the kind of vibes and energy that it brings to your presenting. I have an example. There's a team member of mine. He used to invite me to his office to come and meet his people. He will have talked to them that, okay, he's inviting somebody, that when the person come, blah, blah, that. So anytime I get to his office, what he will say to them is that, oh, please let me congratulate her. She just traveled. I mean, she just qualified for travel to Dubai. They want to ask how. That's okay. That's how we would about it. So it's a very good tool if you can use it very well. And my members try to do it alone if you are just sign up. The mistake most people do is to go by themselves and go and be telling people what business is all about. When they ask them what they get discouraged and people don't feel that energy that you are know anything about. But if you invite your husband or your sponsor and they interact, they gist, they have more experience than you have. So that's why you don't need to do it alone. So you need to invite them, you need to carry them along. There was a sign up I did because I have to come down to learn and to follow the system. Then when I was sponsoring people, what I would just do is just invite them to Pastor Wale's office. So, and in his office, you see a line win 10 million, you see all those flags that are hanged in his office. That's what people we concentrate on and be asking questions. That's what we bring their interest into the conversation, and we tell them, and believe me, that person will sign up. I've experienced that a number of times. So once they see that, okay, there are some things that these people really know what they're saying, and they have results for this business, so they will sign up. So that's just what I want to contribute.
Thank you very much, Kike. I think that's amazing. So Sizzle sells the stick. When we gather together, we provide energy, we provide fire that allows anybody who is either amongst us as a silver sheep to turn gold, or allow somebody who's amongst us as a prospect to see a reason to want to join. People like to listen to conversations that are not their business. We're all busybodies by nature. So you can capitalize on that by having a sizzle. And I like one statement that was made here, you know, about the sizzle. He says the sizzle sells the stick. Your MLM program is the stick. Okay. And everybody knows that you're gathering together, your sessions together is a sizzle. Okay. And the sizzle makes the MLM program you're involved in to look better. There are a few questions here on the board. Somebody's asking, if you have Gold Ship that is not your direct sponsor, what do you do? If the Gold Ship is not your direct sponsor, it means, that means the person that is their upline is probably not working with them. You can adopt them and work with them. You can create up motivation, which we'll get to tomorrow, for the person who is their upline. But I think what you want to do is, as much as possible, try and have your directs as Gold Ship so that your organization can be built and it can be large. Ladies and gentlemen, if we follow this model well and we stay committed to dealing with this model over the course of the next 3 to 5 years, people who are in this meeting will be earning income that will be difficult to pronounce. Okay? Your income will be difficult to pronounce. It's going to be amazing. So we're going to, basically end it now. I'd like us to have a 1 minute motivation. Chapter 10 is where we go to tomorrow. Chapter 10 is also very exciting for me. It's motivation and attitude. We'll get there tomorrow. So let's 1 minute motivation. These chapters, what do you want to share as we close the meeting? Let's go. We'll start with Kike, and then we'll go to MI, and then we'll finish with Dr. Fumi, and then I'll close.
Very much, sir. So we've heard it all this afternoon. So we've covered a lot of topics this afternoon. And what I would just like to say is, I love practice. So just go and practice what we have learned today. So that is when you will really own the knowledge. So we punish knowing by not doing. So let's go out and try to practice what we have learned today so that can stay with us and we can get the needed results for it. Thank you all for listening.
Thank you. MI?
Yeah, so 2 things I'd just like to share very quickly. The first is work with the willing. There are people you have who are willing. Be very quick to work with them. Help them, support them so that they can also build their teams. So that's the first thing. Secondly is be very quick to set up meetings. Yeah. And these meetings, I'm talking about sizzle sessions. Don't wait. Sometimes people say, oh, I've been inviting this person for the past 2 weeks for the 8 p.m. or the 6 p.m. Zoom. No, be very quick. I mean, now everybody can use Zoom. You can do a sizzle session using Zoom. You can have 3 people in a Zoom, 4 people in a Zoom meeting with your prospect, and you can close it very quickly. In as much as we're building, we know that success also loves speed. Now technology has given us the opportunity to set up meetings, as many meetings as possible, and we can create those opportunities to have sizzle sessions and meetups, get our upline. All it will take is 10 to 15 minutes for some of these calls. You can bring them in and, create that sizzle. As many as we do, it also gives us energy for our business. And we can say, oh, this thing is good. Let me set up another one tomorrow. Let me set up another one tomorrow. I mean, 3-way calls, Zoom calls, we can maximize this to really, really give energy to our business and to grow. Yeah.
Thank you, MI. Dr. Fumi, over to you.
Thank you very much. I would like to talk to those of us who you might have started your business 1 month, 6 months, even 1 year. But if you have recognized that you have not really done your training period, I think we need to start now. Don't say I've been in the business for 1 year. Okay, I should have gone beyond this. Start your training period now. Learn everything you need to learn so that that will be part of your digging to make your foundation deep before your building starts showing up. The next one is about sizzles. I know that there have been some people some in my team, okay, I'm trying to plan a sizzle for tomorrow. You can plan a sizzle now. I know that last week or so, CM helped me with a sizzle with somebody, and it was within a period of 15 minutes. Okay, can the person come? And we did it just like that. So a sizzle is not something you plan for like you're planning for a wedding in 3 months. No, plan it
Technology
now
has made
and have it, and that's it. So those are just my parting words. It's not a big deal. Get into many sizzles, but plan it and do it straight away. Thank you.
Okay, I just put those comments out there. I think they are solid comments. Sizzle is not like wedding. Plan it and do it quickly. You don't need more than 15 minutes lead time. And I like
Yeah.
to say this, I'm looking forward to the time when, and we'll do it soon, when we will not have any training time again. Where anybody knows that in a day, I can have 4 meetings, I can have 3 meetings. Zoom is available for free for the first 45 minutes. You can organize, you can just call your upline and say, upline, there's this person I want you to speak with. Can we quickly have a sizzle? And then do a Zoom meeting, set up the meeting, invite everybody, we'll come there, show our faces, Dr. Fumi can join you, I can join you, and of course, I will withdraw myself more and more so that I can focus on clinical trial results. But essentially, you can have, your season happen 30 minutes plan, 20 minutes plan. You can have 3 meetings, 2 meetings happening every day, and not that people are dropped into a crowded meeting. We can have a crowded meeting once a week, but have meetings happening every day on the hour, every hour. CISO sessions, showing the napkin, team meetings, on our WhatsApp groups, team meetings, outside our WhatsApp groups. Say, let's quickly discuss this. Let's see how we can do this. I have a person that's interested. What ideas do you have? This testimony that came from my team. What do you think? Let's get that energy together as a group. This morning I was just thinking, if we can grow ourselves, our teams, imagine what happens when your team becomes 10,000 active people. Imagine what happens when your team becomes 10,000 active. Imagine what happens when your team becomes 20,000 active, 50,000 active. And we're going to get there. Okay. I remember when in the beginning, 1 star looked like going to heaven. Now 1 star is like 1 star. Person has become 1 star. I beg, do 2 star. 2 star is gradually looking like that now. 2 star is looking like 2 star. 2 star everywhere. Okay. Now it's time. As we build gradually. A time will come when, if you are 5 star, we'll be looking down at you. And look, you are 5 star. Okay, yeah. When did you join? Okay, 6 months ago. Nice. You guys did it very fast. So, but it's by doing these things. You want to build organizations, let's follow the rules, let's do it systematically, and it's going to be amazing. Okay, I want to thank everybody who showed up today. Welcome, well done for being in this class. This video will be available in the group. 65 people did their exams as of yesterday. A few more people have done their exam this morning. The moment the exam for today is set, yesterday's exam is obsolete. So let's ensure that we are keying in and doing our quizzes. There were people that scored 100% yesterday. Mrs. Ebele Alaka scored 100% yesterday.
Wow.
15 over 15. We have people that scored 14 over 15. We have people that scored 13 over 15. Now, it's only about the quiz. We need to take it to the school of practicals and make it happen. So well done for being a part of this. Look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Let's ace this quiz today. Let's get 100% as much as we can. And let's get it done. Thank you very much for listening.